Hello friends, welcome to Boss Rush Mode Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. I really feel like this Castlevania got the Boss Rush Mode down pat. I mean, I've played the other Castlevania Boss Rush modes, and I haven't played them all, but I mean, I've played a good deal of them. And like, okay, for instance, the Castlevania Boss Rush mode in Portrait of Ruin was terrible. Okay, I need to get back on track. I need to be clear is what I'm trying to say. Okay, this boss rush mode is my favorite boss rush mode out of all the Castlevanias. Because what you do is you go successively from the first boss to the very last boss of the game. You fight all of them, one right after the other. You get to fight them all again. It's great. But I've seen, like, lately the trend is like, oh, boss rush mode is where you go through, like, 6 rooms, which is like 2 rooms filled with monsters, 1 room with a boss, 2 rooms filled with monsters, and the last room with a boss. And it's just like, those bosses are always the same, and it's boring. I mean, come on, where's the challenge? Where I want to fight all the bosses. So this boss rush mode really lets you do that. And as you can see, we have easy and normal here. You actually only start out with easy. I just went ahead and burned through that really quickly because all it is easy mode, you fight 5 bosses. Normal mode, you fight 10 bosses. After you beat normal mode, we'll unlock hard mode. Now don't run away because we're going to be doing hard mode. We're going to be doing normal and hard mode, but we're going to be doing normal mode with Juste, but we're going to be doing hard mode with Maxim. And yeah, you heard me right. You can use Maxim in boss rush mode, and I'll show you how in just a minute. But right now we're going to do burn through normal mode as quickly as we can. So you start out in this room, and this room carries all of the basic items, the sub-weapons that Juste can get a hold of. And typically I just pick Bible. It's my favorite on its own. The axe is pretty good. I don't know. The cross isn't bad either, but I just have always stuck with the Bible. So as you can see, we're going to be starting off with the first boss of the game, and the object is actually to kind of do it as quick as you can, but we're going to be focusing a little bit more on our hit points. Mainly just so that we don't have to start over. I won't be recklessly playing this like I normally do. So yeah, you start out with your character here pretty much at top level. Judging by the damage that we're doing, I'd say we're probably like level maybe like 45-ish. We might actually be level 50, come to think of it, because I forgot, the reason we were doing so much damage on our other save file was because we had the platinum steel tip, which increased our attack power pretty significantly. So this Juste Belmont may very well be level 50. I would probably put my money on that. Why did we get a good? I guess we beat it quick enough or something. I thought you got goods for beating him without losing your health, but I guess it really is just for, I don't know, doing it quickly. I have no idea. Yeah, the first couple bosses are pretty easy to just slick right through. And honestly, when we do boss rush mode with Maxim, it'll probably be more interesting. For a couple reasons. I mean, honestly, we've already seen Juste in action. So when you get to see Maxim, you get to see a new character. But the other reason is I actually never go through boss rush mode with Juste. I prefer Maxim for fighting bosses. That's not to say that Maxim is better than Juste. I mean, I love both the characters. It's just Juste sports high attack power, higher defense, and more abilities, whereas Maxim sports speed over power and has fewer abilities. But I prefer Maxim's speed. He actually, well, I guess he has about. Well, okay, you can look at it one of 2 ways. He can only use one sub-weapon, which is the Shuriken. And obviously Juste can't get that sub-weapon. So I say he has less choices in what he attacks with because of that. But actually, if you get good at memorizing button combinations, you could argue that he has more moves at his disposal than Juste does, because unlike Juste, who can only use the whip, and then he can brandish the whip, and then he has a couple of jumping abilities like the double jump and the griffin jump. Maxim has the ability to use quite a few moves. Most of them are the moves that you saw him use in the final boss fight that we had with him in the episode, or well, I don't even in the conclusion of the Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance. You get the idea. Anyway, so yeah, I guess it just comes down to personal preference. To be honest, when I play as Maxim, I don't use any of his button combination moves, and that's just because I can't memorize them and or put in the button code quick enough to have it actually be useful. Most of the time, if I was gonna try and use Maxim's moves, I would just get killed or hit while I was trying to remember what the button code was. So it's just personal preference. Basically, although now that I think of it, Maxim does get like a third double jump, so he can triple jump and he can infinite jump, but it uses his magic points. But enough about that. So we're fighting the Golem here. The Golem is actually one of my most hated bosses because I don't know, you have to sit here and like wait for him to spit out rocks, and I just find it to be annoying. You also have to like stand on these platforms in order to hit him, because you can't hit his body, you have to hit that red orb. It's just a pain. All in all, I guess he falls pretty quickly. I think really what it is when you're fighting him trying to break your previous time trial record, it tends to become aggravating because you try and rush it. Yeah, you can actually leave the rooms before the red Healy orb thingy falls down to shave off a few seconds. Back when I was really obsessive about this game, I would play as Maxim and probably do the first 5 bosses without healing myself, just to save myself those few seconds. I don't remember what my final time trial was, but I did do it quite a few times, and got progressively faster each time. Yeah, Minotaur level 1, nothing much to speak of there. I think we fought him pretty late in the game during our Let's Play, and so he wasn't a challenge then either. Well, we're gonna pause there. And, oh, apparently 165 is the max number of hearts. But we're going to pause there and pick up right away.